What is going on, guys? I hope you guys could hear me. Welcome, whoever is in the chat right now. I see James is in the chat. What's going on, James? So it's finally, I want to say finally, after Loki, we got a couple weeks off. Right now, we have another Marvel slash Disney Plus series in the What If animated series. And I was actually, when I heard the announcement on this, I was really looking forward to this because I love what if stories. I love, and especially since we're doing multiverse kind of stuff. So, welcome. Uh, we are not into spoiler territory just yet. I want to give my overall review, and then we're going to discuss spoilers, break down the episode a little bit, and just kind of see where we're at on this episode. I was surprised, super surprised when I started playing the episode and realizing it was only 33 minutes. 33 minutes, and that's not including the intro, and that's not including or that is including intro and the end credits. So super surprised, very surprised how short the episode was. Because of that, this first episode, it's not really a spoiler. It dwells into Captain Carter. So Peggy Carter, the what if story of you've seen it in the trailer. If she took the super soldier serum, I love Peggy. Like I love Peggy as a character when she was introduced in Captain America: The First Avenger. I liked the actress. I liked the show Agent Carter. I know it wasn't that great, but I love this character. And with everybody always talking about wokeness and everybody talking about female empowerment, like Peggy was always like a very organic. Just it flowed just right. Like you really respected this character. So knowing that the what if story was going to focus on Peggy and then also the super soldiers, like the what if she became aka Captain America, but she's like Captain Carter. I was really excited because I really 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 like Peggy as a character. So this episode is the pacing on this freaking thing is it is fast and the furious 100 or 200 mile per hour kind of speed. This episode is quick. So for it being like 33 minutes, it really feels like they're trying to get to everything. I think that hurts it a little bit. I really felt like the pacing on this is just way too quick. There is moments that especially towards the end of the episode, where I feel like you need to slow it down to really feel the impact of what you just saw. And sometimes if you blink, you'll miss a lot of some of these moments. So the action is in your face, gung ho type action. The pacing is crazy fast in here. Crazy. I don't know if it's gonna continue like that. I believe so. If it's just going to be 33-minute episodes, it's fast, guys. It is absolutely just lightning fast on these on this episode. The animation gets it takes some time to get used to. The best example I can give, if you ever seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is like in my opinion the best Spider-Man movie that has ever been made, but that animation style, it has like a little 3D type animation kind of style too, but it's not really 3D converted to 3D, I guess. But it takes a while to get used to. Your eyes got to adjust to a lot of things that you're seeing, and that's really quick too with the animation. I think that's very similar to this episode. But once you start like kind of continue watching the episode, I think you really start getting used to the animation on this one as well. So I think the animation really works really well. I think the voice acting is really really good. Chris Evans, I believe, is not voicing Steve Rogers again, but the actor who they got, I thought did a solid job. I thought he did a fantastic job. You do get, I believe her name is Haley Artwell. She does come back and voices Peggy, so that's really awesome. You get Dominic Cooper voicing Tony Stark's dad in this, so you get some recurring people who played these characters come back and voice them. But then you get I don't know who the voice actor was for Red Skull, but he did a good job. It's great to see Red Skull in this episode. I really love Red Skull as a villain, so it's a shame that I don't know if Chris Evans will come back and play the Captain America role. I'm pretty sure he will, but I always felt like you needed another film or you need something with Red Skull versus Cap. So it's great to see Red Skull back in here. The was it the Howling Commandos or something like that? They different voice actors on that. So, but the voice acting as a whole was really good. It was pretty solid in this episode. If you kind of like looking for who's voicing who, you'll probably be a little bit disappointed that Chris Evans didn't come back and just voice Steve. You don't, and it's a really short episode, so I don't, you don't, and they have contracts and stuff, so you ask the question why. The action sequence were a lot of the flow of the animation was really good. I was getting a lot of Legend of Korra kind of vibes, especially the look of Peggy. Peggy is, once she gets that super soldier serum, she's very bulkier, she's bigger. So I was getting like a lot of Korra vibes, and some of the, just taking it back in a day, you get a little bit of that Korra kind of vibe too. So the episode, I'll be honest with you guys. I liked it, but then I kind of didn't like it just because of the pacing and because there's certain before we get into spoilers, there's certain things that happen in this episode where I was kind of let down a little bit towards the end of it. There is a lot of cool things though. I like a lot of twists that are in this episode. I really enjoyed that. It's just like really you really have to kind of like sit down and pause and really think about what the hell you just kind of watched, because it was really a blink of an eye kind of episode. There was for these what if stories, there's going to be a lot of retelling of things you've seen already, just told differently, just different circumstances. That's what if is all about. If you don't know what if is, comics back in the day, they would have a thing like a 2-page kind of thing at the end of the comic where they would have the scenario of what if. So like if Spider-Man wasn't bitten with the radioactive spider, maybe Gwen Stacy was, and then you get Spider-Gwen. So there's a lot of multiverse kind of things going on, and this is a perfect series to really cover more multiverse type stuff. And this is canon, so we'll see how after watching the whole series, how this all lays to the bigger plan that Kevin Feige over there has. So we'll see. But if I had to give the first impression on the first episode, I would give it probably. I wasn't crazy impressed, man. I want to give it an 8 out of 10, but I think I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10 just because I wasn't too crazy impressed with this episode. You do get that same feeling from Captain America, the First Avenger, which I really appreciate, the same tone. But it's really cool to see Peggy in this light, but the whole time when I was watching this episode, it's like I really want to see Peggy in a live action movie. I want her to like kind of lead a team in the upcoming kind of movies. This is a nice little taste of what we're gonna get in the series. It's a nice little taste, but I just can't. I just didn't love it. Love it. I was very taken aback by how fast it was going, and it was kind of like a flip in the page, right? If you're reading a comic, so I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I want to give it an 8, but it's maybe because it's the same scenario that we've seen in the Captain America First Avenger. So and it's just told differently, but I just wasn't too crazy impressed with the story, I guess, or just overall what was happening. And I'll give you more reasons why, because we're going to head into the spoiler territory. So if you guys are just joining me, just beware. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you guys just finished the episode, come on, let me know your comments section what you guys thought about the episode. But my overall rating, non-spoiler rating, is a 7.5 out of 10. I want to give it an 8. And maybe if I rewatch it, maybe I'll go for an 8, but it's definitely not a 9 for me. It's not a 9 out of 10, but it's a nice little crumble, or at least a little piece until we get to the main dish, I guess you could say. So, spoilers from here on out. If you guys are joining the chat, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps out on just circulating stuff, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So if you guys like the episode, let me know. If you didn't like some aspects of the episode, let me know so we can go over overall this episode and how we're feeling about maybe the future of the What If series and just overall your first impression of this show. Spoiler, let's get into it. So like I said, I really in the back of my head, I was like, oh my god, Peggy Carter in a live action kind of. I would love to see the actors back, and just I would love to see Peggy kick ass in the modern day. So at the end, you have the same scenario with like kind of like how Steve woke up and you had Nick Fury telling him like, hey, we won, we won the war, and asked Steve, are you okay? He's like, oh no, I just owed somebody a dance, but think of it, right? So Captain America's the first Avenger, when that whole ending, right? It's not fast paced. They give you that moment. They let it breathe. They let that scene breathe, and they let that sink. Let Steve sink into sorrow, knowing that he doesn't. He's a man at a time. So with Peggy, this episode, oh my god, it's so fast paced that scene when she says, it's very similar to Steve, that she uh when Nick says, the one, or what she say, we won the war, like whatever. It needed time to sink. That shit needed time to sink to really like maybe make you kind of feel for that in that particular scene. Red Skull, man, it's great to see Red Skull back. He's not in it a lot, but I really appreciate, Red Skull being back. But I didn't appreciate is so he gets this champion, right? He gets a Tesseract, he opens this portal, and you got like, was it Kahula? You got this monster coming out of it. And how did Red Skull think he was going to tame this damn monster? How did he think he was going to do that? Because right away the monster grabs him. It's like an octopus looking monster grabs him, and it reminded me of I think it was like a little bit of a nod of Akira. I love Akira. You see a lot of media, and you see a lot of animated like media as well, who always pays homage to Akira, the anime, the film, the manga. Even Simpsons did it. So Akira, it was like kind of Akira moment where the monster just squeezed the shit out of Red Skull and kills him. Just kills him right there. And Howard Stark's like, holy shit, it was pretty funny reaction with him. But I was like, what's really, you're gonna kill off my boy like that? Just like that. It's just that we're done with Red Skull already. It's not all about the monster and trying to put the monster back into the portal, and that's how you get your ending with Peggy. Okay, I was really disappointed in that. I really want to see a showdown between Red Skull and Peggy. Like, I never got a proper. Well, I did. I got a showdown with Red Skull and Cap, but I want primeness. I want some primeness going on. So yeah, that started happening at the end. So it's so funny because the tone of this is kind of like a kid's cartoon kind of tone. You got like these corny jokes, you got a little bit of corniness going on in the series, but yet you getting people getting shot, especially with Red Skull killing one of his generals. You got you have a little bit of swearing here and there, so it's kind of funny where the tone is on this. But I enjoyed it. It really felt like the Captain America. They got the tone right and feeling like the movie Captain America and the First Avenger. I was kind of surprised I didn't see Tommy Lee Jones in this. You remember Tommy Lee Jones was one of the he was like the colonel or whatever. So I was hoping Tommy Lee Jones would pop in, but he did not. I did. I love how Steve is basically Iron Man, and Captain Carter is Captain America. I love that little twist because I think everybody was thinking when Steve got that suit, when back in the first Avengers movie, when he tells Tony like, get in your suit, what are you without your suit? And the famous what Tony really is, and then he tells Tony to get in the suit, let's go a couple rounds. So it's very ironic and it's very funny that he's basically Iron Man. Howard makes him Iron Man in this what if scenario, which is really cool because it's still Captain and Iron Man basically teaming up and fighting the bad guys, which is pretty awesome. The Steve in here, like I said, the voice actor did a great job. I know it wasn't Chris Evans, but I thought the voice really suited Steve, and I was on board with that. Peggy's look was great. She was the character in this episode was having such a hell of a good time. Um, her uses of she really loves using that shield. She uses the shield very properly too. I liked how when she first uses it, like she's just like destroying a lot of like the tanks or a lot of the vehicles, and she's just like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this again. So she does. She uses the shield properly. I like the team up, the combination when her and Steve when he's in the Iron Man suit and they're taking out like pilots and stuff up in the air. That's pretty cool. Um, Howard was pretty good in here. Howard is Howard. Howard definitely reminded me of like the Legend of Korra. I forgot what was that one, the one sleazy guy. That's why I was getting a lot of Legend of Korra kind of vibes in here. What's up, Chris J? What the fuck, Steve? Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. Steve was Steve in here. It didn't matter. Everybody knows that Steve always had a good heart, and he's we got Steve Rogers in here, just in an Iron Man suit, which was pretty dope. The Like I said though, like it was quick. This episode was boom, 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 action, 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 action. A lot of the same events from the first movie was happening in this movie, where they had to rescue Bucky, the train sequence that was played a little differently though with the explosions. You also even have the sacrifice that Peggy did, like Steve did, but it was switched up. It was a little different on that point. Bucky, Sebastian Stan, I believe, did voice Bucky. He did. Um, cracking jokes, cracking jokes here and there. Not that Winter Soldier that we're used to. I'm interested to see the Winter Soldier aspect later on down the line. I think I saw him in the trailers. No, it was the animation is. I think now that I saw the first episode, I'm going to get used to definitely a lot of it. These next couple of episodes. I'm really looking forward to the Spider-Man one because Spider-Man is one of my favorites. It could be a badass what if scenario on there. Of course, T'Challa as pretty much Star-Lord. I'm looking forward to that. But Peggy, it's a good, nice little taste for this first episode with Peggy. I do love, like I said, I love Peggy Carter. Since this is canon, hopefully they could bring her into the mix of the multiverse, help with the multiverse, bring it back together. Because we thought we did see this isn't 100% confirmed. They didn't confirm it, but pretty much everybody believes that Carter was in Loki episode 1, that she did something with the timeline. So hopefully she's not as bulky, if that is her. But I would love to see her in this multiverse, kind of the live action, and I'm pretty sure the actress wants to do it. I think she really loves this character as well, and she kicks ass. She's a really good actress as well. I've seen her in a couple things, but I really love her as Peggy. It was a nice little story. It was a nice little what if. I really did. I appreciate the fact that they're not trying to, like, now that we all know that Peggy and Steve are pretty much married and stuff. They really played the romance, not will they or won't they kind of thing. They like each other. They love each other. They want to be with each other. So I'm glad they didn't like. They kind of did a little bit, but it wasn't. It wasn't like Captain America, the first Avenger, the movie. I was like, just kiss already. um, the jokes, uh, they're not gonna land, but it's proper for what the set time they're in. It's very a serialized kind of series or time period. It really harkens back to just a lot of those old school kind of shows, like what the hell is his name? Like a Lone Ranger type deal, kind of like that kind of scenario. Um, but no, it was. I can't give it a 9, man. I even can't give it an 8. It's because damn, that thing freaking moved. It moved so fast, so goddamn fast. Um, and I was hoping a little bit of, I don't know, something. So I was hoping that Eve, as long as they kind of like like since the scenario is a little bit different, that it just doesn't really kind of recreate the events of the movie, the first Avenger. Like now it's like a whole different ball game, right? I was kind of hoping that a little bit, which is fine. They still did it was still different kind of scenarios, I guess, when they went through the different or the same stuff as the first Avenger. But I don't know. I was hoping for a little bit more. Maybe I think the pacing just really threw me off. It just really fucking threw me off. The Watcher is pretty dope. I think that's his name is Jeffrey Wright. I believe it's Jeffrey Wright. It's Bernard from Westworld. That's a great casting for the Watcher. I think Stan Lee is technically a Watcher too. I think they made him a Watcher as well. Pepper Plays, what's going on? I loved it, but it felt a little rushed. It was so quick. I think that good 45 minutes would do it, right? 45 minutes, I think it's right on the money. So you could at least slow it down, let it breathe a little bit. Like I said, a lot of the moments, even the action sequences, some in film or any media, you gotta let some scenes that need to breathe. You gotta let us take in the emotional impact that's happening in some of these scenes. I think the ending definitely needed that, especially when Nick is talking to Peggy. It needed to slow down. I absolutely love though when she grabbed the sword and she's like slicing the limbs and stuff. That was pretty dope. I thought she looked badass with the sword, with the shield. Her suit was pretty badass. I like how Howard kind of explained, like, yeah, I made some modifications on your suit, and of course he flops the shield down, and it's not American. It's like she's British, so it's a the British flag, I believe. So I like that. Howard and Peggy have a great dynamic. They do a good job in Agent of Carter too with that dynamic as well. I'm glad Dominic Cooper came back and voiced that actor. I'm pretty sure he was contracted for it. But it was, yeah, I think the only thing the big complaint is the pacing, or it's just super, it was just going way too fast. Like the Bucky rescue could have been slowed down a little bit. The train sequence, I'm fine with. I knew Steve wasn't dead, but that would have been kind of nuts, right? I was kind of thinking, like, is Bucky still going to fall to kind of like his death is still, because even though you change things, doesn't mean that some things are not gonna everything's gonna change. If some things do continue to happen, I mean, Red Skull still was able to get the Tesseract, so but it's just a different kind of scenario that happened. um yeah, but Stanley Tucci, voicing the Doctor again, fantastic. I love Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci is amazing. I always remember his role in that Captain America: First Avenger. I was always sad that Steve didn't really kind of mention him a lot, or just wink, wink, or not wink, wink, but like kind of reminisce about him, because they have that great conversation in that film. What it is, why he was chosen. You know, so Stanley Tucci, even though he was barely in it, that was great that he came back and he voiced it. Like I said, I was missing Tommy Lee Jones. I want some Tommy Lee Jones, and the old grumpy man's probably doesn't want to do it. It's like, fuck this. I don't want to do another Marvel series or another Marvel thing. It's crazy because they do get a lot of the voice actors back. They have a list. Michael Douglas, I think, comes back as well. I'm pretty sure Paul Rudd does anything. But I can't. It's not the. It wasn't like crazy, like, oh my god, amazing. But it was good. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that I'm not going to stay up all night watching this thing, and for I have it is 33 minutes. I could watch it, and then I could do these live reactions or live reviews slash spoilers. Um, that's cool, but it does hurt the product, right? So I'm interested to see what's going to happen in this next episode. If it's going to be the same amount of time, 33 minutes, are they a little bit longer? Will it be like a lot of the other Disney Plus shows where it gets longer as we head to like maybe some of the season or the season finale, or maybe stories need a little bit more longer to kind of properly kind of be conveyed? I get it, I guess, because this one is very by the point. Um, I don't know if this is going to connect to any of the other stories too. Maybe they're setting up for all of them to come together. I don't know. I always thought maybe I was thinking this is like a one-off kind of thing, and then we move on to a, while the Watcher's talking, like these are all the scenarios, multiverse, and all that stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I thought it's a nice little appetizer, but it was really fast. It was really quick. Like you didn't get five mozzarella sticks, you got like three. So Agent Carter, what if episode one, not bad, not bad at all. The animation, I thought I was not gonna like the animation, but it did. I did get used to it, which is great because you want to get used to this because this is the animation they're going to use throughout all the episodes. So we'll see. I'm hoping there are more depth in later episodes. Like the episode was just a short origin story thing. Yeah, that's what it felt like. It definitely felt like that, and it's an origin story we've already seen with Steve, right? I mean, we've already seen that with Steve. It's just different scenarios, I guess. But it was very by the beat by beat by beat, like Avengers, the first Avenger and Cap. But like I said, I love Peggy, and I think that's a brilliant idea to have Peggy as like Captain America, but Steve in a suit being Iron Man. That's pretty dope. He's Iron Man. He's Iron Man. So I like that. I like that idea, and I like the teamwork that they had. I like the callbacks to the story because of the nostalgia and symmetries of the situation in a different reality, but the felt like a rehash of the first Avenger. Ian, that's what that's absolutely what we're saying. It was really that's why it was so rushed because it was basically them doing the same thing over again. I would, there's some cool ideas, cool moments that happen in the episode, but you're sitting there saying, I've seen this already. I've seen this already. If they would have probably did my man Red Skull a little bit better, I'd probably give it a higher rating. But they really brought the Red Skull and they didn't do anything with him. They just made him. He kind of was kind of like a cameo a little bit. I was hoping for a Peggy versus Red Skull like hand to hand combat fight, but I didn't get that, and I was like, "What the heck?" So I am hoping that the future episodes are just like you said, Pepper, a little bit more to it. Definitely a little bit more to it. Like the Spider-Man's really got me excited. I want to see what the hell that's all about. It looks like he's fighting Wanda, which would be super dope. Now, if Peggy's story doesn't end here and it's just not like a one-off and it kind of circles back and maybe like I don't know, Nick Fury's getting the Avengers together and it's the Peggy Carter Cap and it's whatever we're going down the line on the different scenarios like T'Challa, Star-Lord being a part of the team. Then I would say, okay, it's an origin story like you guys said, and they're setting it up for more things to come down the line. It's all kind of connected. But if it's like that was your story, we're moving on to a different story, then that's a huge letdown. That's a big ass letdown because I would love to see, like I said, I want to see Captain Carter in the modern day, the 2012 modern day, and I want her to be the leader of like this new Avengers team. And who is the new Avengers team? I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I want to see it live action. I want to see a live action Captain Carter. That'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty dope. I'm trying to think if the humor didn't really work too much for me with Peggy while she was Captain Carter because I feel like Peggy's just so she's very by the book. She's very get the job done. So her cracking a lot of jokes and having so much fun with the super soldier serum. I was a little taken aback. I'm like, huh, that Peggy's like this Peggy's really having a good time, which is cool. I like it. I enjoy it. But if you watch Agent Carter and Peggy, just knowing Peggy herself, like you think she wants to get the job done. But I think the writers wanted to have fun with it and have her character have fun with a lot of things too. It isn't a one-off thing. I really want to see some of the cliffhanger stuff taken care of, like the suit. If it isn't a one-off thing, yeah. I mean, and then also, yeah, My initial reaction when they did the whole thing where Nick Fury talk is, and it's cool that you got Hawkeye right there when he's talking to Carter, is okay. So Steve has to be dead, right? So what's the evolution of that suit? You know, what's Tony's job in all this? Like, there's so many questions and so many different ways you could play it now that Carter is in the technically it's 2012, so 2012 time. So what happened from she didn't get frozen in ice or anything like that. So what happened from that to that period? Because now you have an Iron Man suit way before it was supposed to happen, when Tony escaped. So that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. So where's the technology at that point? Because Howard made an Iron Man suit, right? And then if Tony's not taking crazy scenarios, and what happened? What does Steve do? So then you have Bucky. Bucky never became the Winter Soldier. So there's a lot. There's a big box open, but I don't know if they'll cover that. I don't know if they'll actually answer those questions. So that's why I'm hoping it's not like a one-off thing. I don't think it. When I think about the trailer, is there any scenes that we missed from Carter that wasn't on the first episode? Because that might be implication that she is coming back. We'll see. We'll see. Lucky, what's going on, Lucky? I like how she came out the same portal as Loki. Oh, very true. Great observation. And Loki will be in this what if as well. It's a great it's great to start off with that, right? After we got out of the Loki series, then we came to this series, and it's a nice little nod. Now, I like how you mentioned that, because the part where she actually gets the Tesseract, she just like holds it. And if you remember in the first Avengers movie, remember when Nick couldn't did Loki hold it? I can't remember if Loki hold it, but I know Nick Fury couldn't hold that. So he couldn't hold it because it was like he barely picks it up and puts it in the briefcase, which was kind of funny. So she just like holds it like nothing. So, and then even the guy's like, "Oh, is that nuclear?" I thought that was pretty funny. And I don't remember that guy who was like giving Carter shit the whole time. That character, I don't remember that character being in the first Avenger. They probably put him in there because they couldn't get Tom Lee Jones. I'm not sure. I don't think that character was in the presentation either with Steve and stuff. Steve got shot. Steve did get shot, and when they were going to put him into and get the super soldier serum going. Here's some rumbling. That might be Iron Man right there. He wasn't. Yeah, that's like this is a whole different character. They do put it to the point. I mean, in that era, like he did make a point, like you're a woman, you can't do anything. So that's why I say that I really, even with throwing that out there, and how Disney has been doing a lot of, I guess, political kind of stuff, and then you got a lot of people like to talk to wokeness and stuff. I never thought Carter or Peggy. I never thought that character. She was so organic and she's so strong, and like that's the way to write a character, like a character, a female character like that. If you want her to, it makes total sense that she would be like the next Captain America, and it's really badass. I really love the look, and I really love the character, and I think it's organic, man. It's not forcing anything. So, like I said, I didn't really feel that way in this episode because I really do like the character, and I really do want to see what she could do later on in the future. And I think if they're throwing TV series out there, like I said, I wouldn't mind. I thought when he fell off the train, I thought he was going to be the Winter Soldier. It was a good trick, I think. Well, when he fell, I was like, but he's in the suit, And Howard did say like it's indestructible, even though they play that for a laugh at the end where he's getting his ass kicked by the monster. But yeah, I thought there would have been some, because if you're not going to get Bucky and he falling off that thing, then something's going to happen to Steve, right? And they didn't really do anything with that either. They didn't like brainwash Steve. They didn't even really like do anything to the suit. So that was kind of surprising to me as well. Red Skull was just ambitious of getting his champion out of that portal. And it was like the stupidest plan he could ever do, to think that he was going to control that thing. And he's just gloating. And when the tentacles came out, I'm like, you're an idiot. You're going to die right now. And I hope you don't, because I want to see a battle between you and Carter. But not that, or like at least I thought his men were going to die and he was still going to survive. And then he'd have a showdown with Peggy. But no, 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 Red Skull dies. That's it. Boom. Yeah, and he's dead now. No, I think this is the last time. Maybe that's them saying like, you're not gonna get Red Skull in the future, so don't even ask for it. Because I know the actor, Agent Smith. I call him Agent Smith, but the actor absolutely hated the prosthetics, the makeup, he hated being in that chair. I think also money wise, Marvel wasn't giving him he wanted more money, this and that. So he never reprised his role. But the guy who reprised the role for Endgame was the guy from The Walking Dead, and he did a phenomenal job. Pay that guy. I want that guy to be back in there. Do you think the multiverse will tie into the series in some type of way? Just to let you guys know before we continue, and we're going to continue a little bit longer, and because I love the comments, keep feeding me the comments, keep asking questions. Let's dive into this. I mean, I got time, right? It's not one yet over here, but be sure to hit the like button so we can get this thing going. We can put in, people see this. I'll be doing this every What If episode live. We'll be discussing it, breaking it down. So every episode that comes out, right after the episode, I'm on this thing. But to answer your question, yes, I do feel, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already too. I do feel like, yes, they already said that this is canon, but I think it is going to tie in at the end with what everything's that's going on. I can't remember if What If was originally supposed to be first and then Loki. I think maybe if that was their original plan, but if not, so if Loki and then like it makes sense after Loki, and we're going, that was the start of the pretty much going into the multiverse. And then you got this What If series that's just even, it's more education and more craziness that can happen in this multiverse. I really think that this could all tie in at the end. I don't think all the scenarios are going to tie in at the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if you do get a Captain Carter. That's the introduction of bringing her into the live adaptation. It's great that they're doing it animated this time or this go, because first of all, Marvel needs to step up their animated game. I think we could all agree that DC's animated game is fucking great. It's brilliant. But so Marvel wants a little bit of piece of that pie too. But not, and they can make it unique, which is great. They can they could bring this into the storyline that we're going into in the next couple movies, whatever. Just this next phase, basically. So yeah, I think every series has got to at least bring something to the table, right? To the overall big picture. WandaVision even did that a little bit, and they set up a lot of things that can happen down the road. So I think What If is just not, it's not just something they put out there just to put out there. I think it's in the grander scheme of things it's gonna some way or somehow is gonna have effect and maybe the current storyline that we're headed into. Ian, a giant starfish in Suicide Squad and now an octopus in What If? Where Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy when you need them? That's brilliant, man. I love that, Ian. I love that. I know. Like freaking was it Starro, the big starfish in Suicide Squad? I was like, okay, it's a typical, battle the big thing at the end kind of scenario, but they did a good job in Starro and Suicide Squad. It was goofy. It was really goofy, but I don't know. And then they got this octopus going on, so don't be shocked if more of that stuff is happening. And you got to say Loki too. Loki had what, the dog had like a Galactus Fantastic Four 2 kind of vibe going on in there. it just happens. And it seems like timing's always like right there on its side. Pepper, I wonder how this will affect Civil War if there is one. Um, I would, since they're animating it, I would love to see a proper Civil War. Now, when I say a proper Civil War, is I'm saying so the Civil War we got had what, like 6 on 6. It wasn't like big ass team versus big ass team, but now animation you could do so much more, and they have like proper. They have so many characters. So how crazy would it have an actual proper Civil War? A lot of characters just battling it out. But they probably won't touch on Civil War too much. I'm really looking forward. I think everybody's looking forward to the zombie verse. I want to see the zombie. I love Marvel zombies. I'm not a huge comic book guy, but that was one of the issues I really absolutely loved. I loved how Ash was in it too. So I'm looking forward to the zombie episode. I want to see what they're gonna do with that. The Spider-Man one. Chris Hemsworth, I believe, voices Thor in this time around. It's going to be interesting on that one. I think it's going to be interesting with T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman's last performance. I'm still, man, that one hit me hard. On Celebrity Deaths, that one was a bad one. That one was just, I was really sad. I'm still pretty sad about that one. So knowing that this is his last performance, and he was such a great Black Panther. I think he deserved a better move because he wasn't like, yeah, the movie was good, but I thought it kind of like, I felt like he was more of a badass in Civil War. So hopefully this is just a great curtain call. It's an interesting idea too because he's technically Star-Lord, so I would have never thought they would done that. So I'm looking forward to that one too, and seeing Chadwick voice acting his last performance. Basically, because voice acting you could do it. Look at Bradley Cooper and Rocket, man, he's phenomenal in that. Even Sylvester Stallone as King Shark, it didn't process until later. Like, holy shit, that was Sylvester Stallone. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to Chadwick's last performance too. If they tie in Kang into the series, that would be insane. Maybe that's one of the things that's gonna really tie in towards the end. Of course, they're not gonna do it in the beginning. They have to have you watch everything towards the end. That's why they're telling you right now that this is canon. Before we dropped this first episode, they told you this was canon. There's a lot of crazy things that happened. They showed it to the big YouTubers. They like the first 3 episodes. They dropped the first 3 episodes for those people. So they want you to get hyped. They want you to know that this is something special and you better watch it. So Kang, after that reveal in Loki, like I would not be surprised if he is in this, but I don't think they're going to throw him in there until the end. You can't ruin your big surprise until the end. Yeah, and they want you to watch every episode. They want those ratings and they want you to subscribe. So we'll see. But I am like, I give it a 95% chance that Kang would pop up at the end. I'm very interested in the Watcher and what they do with the Watcher too. I mean, he can't interfere or anything like that. But he's telling us, he's a storyteller. You might get a Stan Lee cameo. I know they're not doing it anymore, but you never know. Maybe they will do as because they said that Stan Lee was like one of the Watchers, so that'd be pretty dope. I expect to see King in the next Ant-Man movie with time travel and quantum realm and stuff. Yeah, he will be. He's officially casted. They already said he's going to be in the movie. The question is what version, what variant is he going to be in that film? Is he going to be the Conqueror? Is he going to be another interpretation? Because there's a lot of variants of Kang in the comics too. Is he going to be, I think, what was it, Ramata? So we'll see. The show started because of Loki. So my guess is it will end with Loki and start up season 2 of Loki. That's a good guess. That's a really, really good guess. And I'm looking forward to season 2. Loki, by far, to me, in my opinion, was the best out of the series, out of all the series that Disney dropped. I liked WandaVision. First 3 episodes. I don't think you can even really go back to WandaVision. You can skip probably those 3 episodes. So it's not great in rewatchability. I thought the Falcon and the Winter Soldier dropped the ball hard. I just didn't. I think the problem with that show was the villains, honestly. But of course, Bucky and Sam, great chemistry. And I think Loki just kind of nailed it, man. And they did a great job with the finale, even though it was like, uh, was it Jonathan? Well, Kang himself, he was a little bit animated, but I really got to appreciate that performance after knowing, and it's just thinking about like how crazy he would be at that scenario. So far, Loki has been my favorite. I think What If is kind of the underdog, and I think it's gonna really pull some surprises, and it's gonna be, and I think some episodes, I don't think all of them, as we could see, I think this episode was okay, but I think some episodes are gonna have people freaking talking, like really going like, what did I just watch? I think that zombie episode, I think that Spider-Man episode, and maybe the Chadwick Boseman episode. I think the Chadwick Boseman episode, T'Challa, is next episode. Not sure. But then there's also things that we probably don't even know. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of surprises. So to me, What If is like the underdog because that was not in nobody's radar when they announced it. They were looking at all these other shows, but I think What If is gonna bring some power punch to it. Hopefully. I don't think I want to. I don't know. I gotta watch to see if it's. Hopefully, it's better than Loki, because I always want a show to be better than the previous show. But Loki was really pretty damn good. Okay, we'll take a couple more comments, and then I think I need to head to bed. I got work in the morning, guys. Oh man, I hope they don't really debut the real King the Conqueror in an animated show. I'm hoping his debut is more epic than that. So, like I said, different variations of different variant. So you might get what's it, Rada King like when he was Egyptian, or there's different variants, like King said. So maybe now after Loki and all these series, you're just gonna have different variants. But the true King the Conqueror, I don't know if he's going to be an Ant-Man, but he's going maybe we won't see the true Conqueror till later on, maybe in a different film. I don't know if he's going to be the Conqueror and Ant-Man. I don't really feel like he is. I think it's going to be a different variation, just because Ant-Man is such a comedy, and you bringing in the Conqueror variant, the Conqueror version, you really need that serious tone, which they could still do in Ant-Man. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see it for some reason. I agree. Loki was great. Loki is one of my favorite characters in general. Well, you see, I really liked Loki, but Loki the series actually made me really love Loki. I loved his story arc. I loved where he was in the beginning of that show to the end. I love the possibilities. I love all the different variations of Loki. They did a hell of a job. So I'm hoping the same passion, the same process is for the What If series. Um, so I'm gonna wrap this up like saying that, hey, first episode down. I think we kind of get the idea of what we're getting into. I don't know if it's going to be longer episodes going forward or the same pace, but I do hope they do give it some time to breathe. I think now like the T'Challa thing becoming like Star Lord, I think that's going to be pretty bananas. I think that it'd be a lot different, not just like a rehash. So I'm definitely giving this a chance, and I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of what if scenarios. I love that idea. I love it. I love that idea of it. And like I said, I'm waiting for the zombie one. But so far, first episode, I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. I can't give it an 8. I just think it was definitely, the pacing was really fast. A little bit of a rehash, but there was a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of nods. So 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad score at all. Nice, good first step, right foot forward type of deal going on. So thank you guys for joining me. Uh, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There is a lot of videos on here. There's a lot of different content. I call it kind of like the pop culture channel. I did review Suicide Squad. I reviewed The Green Knight. I actually really enjoyed that film. It was long. It was kind of boring, but I did enjoy that film. But I also have Sons of Anarchy content, TV show, movies, um, you name it. I got it. It's on here. So take a look. Take a look at the channel. And then, like I said, so every what's technically it's Wednesday, so every Wednesday nights I will be watching What If, and then I will be doing the same thing that's happening here is a live review slash spoilers, so we could just process it all, talk about it. I'll be doing that for every Marvel series. I did that for Loki. I tried to do that for the Falcon and Winter Soldier, but we'll be doing that for every Marvel series. So thank you guys. You guys have a good night. Push the like button, and just, have a great night. And I'll see you next week, or I'll see you when I drop another video. All right, guys. Bye bye.